pushing His word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth, and the rest of you that sincerely believe as well. So another edition in today's class of News and Prophecy. Like always, we go into world events and link them to Bible prophecy. And so there was a couple things I was going into. I got two videos that go into basically MOTB, you know, as the Spirit's been on Apostle DeHart to really get on all of us to push out MOTB, and then brothers are having dreams concerning the MOTB. So, hey man, it's right around the corner. That's the signs for those of us that are in the know and we understand what's going on. Those are signs to us to let us know that we're coming right around the corner, man. We're coming right around the corner of that great testing. All right, the hour of temptation. So, any opening precept before I play the first clip?
Yes. I had a dream last night, and the setting was like in a sort of like a hospital, like a waiting area, and I was sitting down. You know, there's different roles and what have you. Sitting down, I didn't know it was a hospital type area, but I'm putting the dream together now, and what do you call it? Sort of Elamite looking person, but of a lighter complexion. He could even pass for Ishmaelite. And on my left hand, right, or my left arm, the guy came up to me and injected me with something. Right? And I said, "What are you doing?" Okay. And he just started acting goofy, like, you know, give me a strange look. Okay. And in my mind at the time, in the spirit, right, I said, something is wrong here. I'm saying to myself, why did he force himself on me and injected me? Okay. So that's the spirit. Right. Most of this stuff is going to go into, of course, forcing habits. They will talk about that. There's no doubt about it, because that's been their agenda, is to, obliterate the masses and go after the elect in vain. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that dream for what it's worth. So yes, but he forced himself upon me with the needle, just jamming with the needle.
Yeah.
Right. And I was able to just pull it out right there at a minute. But anyway, go ahead. That's all I got. That's all I remember. It was a quick one.
God, sometimes dreams like that are just demons trying to play with our minds too, because we know that this devil is you're gonna make a choice. You're gonna make a decision to basically bow the knee to this devil and take the MOTB. He's not gonna forcibly take you up and stick the MOTB in you, right? The only one that's gonna force the Israelites is gonna force anybody to take the MOTB is really the Most High, right? And those that are of the elect, they're gonna have the spirit of covering, or more importantly, the YAHAWAH, which means they're exempt from the judgment to not take the MOTB, you know. But demons are gonna be playing on our minds, man, in our sleeps, you know, daily. We get sick, you know, injuries, so forth, so on and so forth. But these are all mini trials to the greatest test of our existence, which is, you know, the hour of temptation.
Yep.
Quick precept.
Come on.
This is Luke 22, verse 31.
Come on.
And it's basically going into the elder Malak, based on his dream. So there's some comforting words, right? Luke 22, 31. Come on.
So Luke 22 and 31, it says, "And the Lord Yahawah, or the Lord Yahawashi, said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan has desired to have you." Come on.
So it is the so-called white man, because you know he's the counterpart here on earth that's been put to play our adversary, and the word adversary is actually going into Shaitan, Satan. He's adverse to Yahawah Shem Yahushai. So of course, if it was given him to use force, I'm sure by all means, but it's not so. You have to willingly be a participant, and that's why Yahweh is prayed and for us not to be led to a temptation.
Mhm.
You see,
That's right. That's right. Yep.
this is where our faith lies, and this is why we do this work, and this is why we pray to YAHAWASHI that we're not giving over to Satan as a prize, because it'll be a prize for him. But keep reading.
It says that he may sift you as wheat.
And keep reading. 22.
But I have prayed for thee.
So that's so comforting, man. YAHAWASHI has prayed for his men, and we're hopeful that we're those men. We're hopeful we're part of that fortress, that line, that house of David, right? That stands so stiffly. We're hoping that that prayer has permeated us, right, and put a shield around us, so dreams like that can be rebuked in the spirit. All right, and we trust in YAHAWASHI. Finish it up.
That's right. And it says, but I have prayed for thee that thy faith fail not.
How sweet that is, man. Keep reading.
And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren.
And that's the command, man. So Allah, that's the word through the spirit that which is strengthen you, right? And Malak, Amath already shut that demonic, dream, because none of us here wants that to be our end, man.
That's right.
That's right.
We want to be the Heavenly Father and the Son and then in the ships, man. All right, what
Can I bring this out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bring it
up. Romans 11:4. Right, just line backing.
Yeah.
Right.
You got it. You got it. You can read it.
And it reads, but what saith the answer of Yahawah Bashim Yashai unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal, right? So the elect are predestined, Lord willing, we're at that number, a complete amount of men, and we're looking at this word reserve. The Lord has put aside a complete amount of men, the 144,000, Lord willing. So no matter what happens, they won't be, they won't bow, they won't be touched, they won't be forced. Nothing like that will happen.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Beautiful, man. So I got two videos here.
Yep. Real quick, let me get this precept because you brought it up, Brother Matthew spoke about it. So I got to bring it up. It's in the book of Job. I'll read it. You don't have to go there because we're familiar with this. All right. And the great millstone, the Lord's man. Job 12:15 and 16. It says, "Behold, he withholds the waters, and they dry up. Also, he sendeth them out. All right. And they overturn the earth. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his." So yes, the Lord is in control. All right. And as brother mentioned, those scriptures came out in council. Always take comfort in the Lord because he controls all the spectrums.
Yeah.
So yes, that's it. That's all I got.
And that waters is going into when the Lord took the truth, wisdom, and understanding from the earth, and basically went in a state of dry bones. All right. So now the flood is being released, so to speak. This is why you see, we're up, as tender plants growing, speaking about our Heavenly Father, who are two separate entities.
That's right.
Father and Son.
That's right.
Bug outs, man. Bug outs, man.
Wow.
Jesus.
All right.
So it's a two-part video, but we'll start off with the debt system part first, because that leeways into leeways into the MOTB and the infrastructure of the MOTB, which is the NWO, New World Order.
Yeah.
So there's basically they're racking up debt, right? So that there is a reason to bring in this new system, right? Cause the chaos so you can bring in your order. That's how this devil works. So I'm just going to speed up a little bit. Okay, And of course, let me know the positive. Brothers got precepts.
We have made so much progress, historic progress.
For the first time in U.S. history, the national debt hit a record high today.
$35 trillion in debt. That's $104,000 per American.
$35 trillion. We did it. Congratulations. Put it in context for me. How big of a problem is it?
Big. Big, big, big.
To be living on the edge of a bubble just before it bursts. Ever since the days of the Great Recession, our leaders have been going to extremes that we have never seen before as they attempt to keep our field economy propped up.
There's some that talk about the economy of this country not being in very good shape. From your perspective, tell me how the economy of this country is doing compared to other advanced economies that have central banks.
So I'm in lots and lots of international discussions as part of my job, and the story for the last 2 years has been just how exceptional the performance of the U.S. economy has been, and that's not a secret. Clearly the U.S. economy has performed very well.
I think the United States is doing very well.
And and this is why the scriptures talk about sudden destruction, because when you look at the news and these people that speak on the news, they're telling you the complete opposite of what's going on. Right, and this guy's bringing it out in this video how they'll tell you, you'll have many news anchors tell you the same message, that the United States is doing very well. It's not as bad as it seems. It's not as bad as it looks. And this is why the World Economic Forum, the WIF, are making plans to basically take back the narrative, and basically shut and have even more autonomy and more control over the internet, right, and what's put out, and so forth and so on, because too much truth is flooding them.
Yeah.
The Federal Reserve has created trillions upon trillions of dollars out of thin air and pumped it into the financial system. Our politicians in Washington have been on the greatest debt binge in the history of the world. And as a result, our national debt has soared to truly horrifying levels. On Monday, our national debt reached $35 trillion. And even the New York Times is admitting that it's growing more quickly than many economists had predicted.
The storm clouds are gathering, and an epic crisis looms large over the future of our great nation.
So
mountainous and
now in the back behind him, the speaker, it says a reverse. I don't know if your brother picked up on that. Let's see. It's a reverse. So it makes me think about Daniel 4:17, where the Most High is going to put the basis of men, right? Right. He said the basis of men. You have to go there. What I want to get is Job chapter 5, verse 8 to about 11, because what you're seeing is a toppling, right? Wrong will be made right, and wrong going to be taken out of the way. All right. So Job 5 and verse 8.
So Job 5 and 8, it reads, I would seek unto Yahawah, Bashem Yahushai, and unto Yahawah, Bashem Yahushai, will I commit my cause.
So the cause is basically a decree, a cry out, right? To say, like as in Ezra's, if the world was made for us, our sake, paraphrasing, why are we suffering? Right? So this cry is going to the Heavenly Father, right? Right, to say, hey, what's going on? Right? You reading?
It says, verse 9, which doeth great things and unsearchable, marvelous things without number.
And just to you who don't know the Lord's temperament, the Lord, what you think is a bad thing is also a good thing, because when most of us destroying Sodom and Gomorrah, there's people there that thought this is a bad thing, but now we know that was a marvelous thing, because that had to happen, right, for things to transpire and for things to move forward. Also, in the ancient world with the flood, as it pertains to Noah, that was a marvelous act, right? Once you understand how wicked people were being, right? All the spirit rampant, doing all kind of things contrary to the Heavenly Father.
That's right.
As it pertains to Egypt, right? All the, all them plagues, those things were marvelous in the eyes of Yahweh Shai. And now also in the eyes of the righteous. We can't wait for the Most High to rain down fire and judgment on this place.
That's right.
All right, keep reading.
It says, verse 10, who giveth rain upon the earth and sendeth waters upon the fields.
And the water again is going into the knowledge, right? It's understanding, right? This is, we were those dry, parched fields.
Bones, yeah.
So, but now we understand the judgment of the Lord. We know whatever happens, Yahweh Shai is in control. All right, keep reading.
And it says, verse 11, to set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety.
And that's going into the reverse. Right? So it's spiritual that the backdrop is showing a reverse, right? Because the earth is going in the wrong direction.
Right. Yep. And now the Lord is reversing it and bringing it back to the right direction.
That's right.
Yeah.
Our precept.
Go ahead, Af.
Second Esdras 4 verse 29.
You're good.
Actually, I read from 28. And it reads, but as concerning the things whereof thou asked me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. Right? So this entire wicked kingdom has to be done away with. None of this kingdom is going to go in is going to be in the kingdom that is to come. All its ways, its money structure, its banking system, its idols, its alphabet lifestyle, all that's going to be burnt in fire, done away with. It's fiat currency, it's dollar notes with the Aussie eye on it, all that's going to be burnt up.
That's right, man. That's right. Beautiful. That's it on that?
Yeah, that's it on that.
That's good.
Over the future of our great nation, our mountainous and unsustainable national debt is the most significant, in my opinion, long-term threat to our economic prosperity as well as our national security.
And this guy, he goes into it. He's going to break down the debt right down to the very second, and it's pretty crazy.
Budget Committee released some numbers about how rapidly our debt has been growing over the last 12 months. $196 billion in new debt per month.
This is new debt per month.
6.4 billion in new debt per day. $268 million in new debt per hour.
Per hour.
$4.5 million in new debt per minute, or that's $74,401 in new debt per second.
Yo, so this place is finished, man. This place is finished. It's just a matter of time, man. We're crying out to the Lord to speed things up, and He's speeding things up, and it's going to be a sudden thing, man. $74,000 in debt per second.
Brother, you just pay 150. Say the same thing.
Yeah.
The third number in that list really stands out to me. $268 million is being stolen from future generations of Americans.
You said stolen? Or what?
Americans.
Yeah, well, he's talking about because these people think that America's gonna be around for years. So he's talking about how all this money is being stolen from the future generation. They're gonna wake up in debt, which is true, but they're gonna wake up in chains and shackles. That's gonna be their debt.
Every hour of every single day, and hardly anyone seems to care. We are literally committing national suicide.
Fair to say you simply flooded the system with money.
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Money from out Fugazi from out of thin air.
Yeah.
Money which must be paid back later. Prosperity in the future is being sacrificed for more prosperity in the present. We were $10 trillion in debt when Barack Obama entered the White House. And now, $35 trillion in debt. We have literally destroyed the bright future that our children and our grandchildren were supposed.
That's it on that. They don't want to play any more of that. But
Beautiful.
I just really want to get the debt aspect of what's going on with America and well, United States, as I like to call it, because it's not America. And, you know, linking that obviously to the scriptures, because this is prophecy. It's prophecy that this place would go into the debt or the level of debt that it has gone into. And I'm going to get this scripture. We all should know this precept, Habakkuk 2. And I'm going to get an NLT and
Beautiful. Start. You can start from the top. You can start from the third verse, brother. I'm just saying because I'm holding it here, and read it from the NLT. That's the spirit, because that's what I got.
Wow. I just want to see what it says from verse 6. You deserve with these. Okay.
And you see. Meanwhile, while this place is collapsing, people are so engulfed in bread and circus, man.
Yeah.
You know, all kinds of distractions, and these people, it's a burning house around them, and they're just, you know, gotta go to work, gotta get my Tim Hortons, gotta get my Starbucks, you know, gotta get my nails done, my eyelashes. Who's playing tonight? What club we going to?
Yeah, and that starts with Jake, man. You Israelites are bugged out, and then you have your leaders, even your leaders, your so-called leaders, are forwarding your foolishness, man. They're forwarding your foolishness, right? And the scripture talk about how the blind will lead the blind, man. And they'll both fall into the ditch.
Yeah, the simple minds have the so-called average minds in a tizzy out there, right? Simple minds meaning these people that the brother just mentioned. Okay, they're all caught up into other people. And then the elites, this is how I'm looking at it, the so-called elites, the people over them, right, which are the simple minds, are looking at the average minds and just using them. And then, of course, you have the wicked great minds on top of all of them, man. So, yeah, this is one thick destruction. Thick verse 6 you were looking at in Habakkuk.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm actually going to read this in the King James, and then we'll kind of get the point of the play.
Yeah. You can do what it's the same. It's just it's a lot
it
of
says here, Habakkuk 2:1. It says, "I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me." And a good precept to link this to is Amos 3:7, right? Because the Most High reveals his secrets to the prophets. So we're constantly watching world events and seeing, you know, and linking them to Bible prophecy, and then teaching the sheep, give warning of me to them, give them warning of me. That's what we're doing by bringing these by doing these lessons, right? And it says, "And what I shall answer when I am reproved," right? And what we're answering is according to the truth, right? These false teachers out there, they're not answering according to the truth. They're answering according to their own belly, right? Because for them, it's all about money. And really, they actually don't believe in the words of the Most High. They don't believe that this destruction is going to come in their lifetime. It says here, verse 2, "And the Lord YAHAWAH answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables," right? And you know, that's pretty straightforward, man. This truth is supposed to be plain. It's supposed to be simple to understand, simple to digest for those who are meant to understand it and digest it. That he may run that readeth it, right? And we're the runners, right? Starting with our apostles and elders on down. They were watchers. They brought this truth out, made it plain upon tables, and now we're running as they're running. And Paul also talks about how this is a marathon, right? So it says, verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. And that's why you're seeing the internet, right, being flooded with a mass amount of videos, right, by the prophets, because now the vision is speaking. We're in that time. And not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely come. It will not tarry. You know, basically be patient, man. You know, stay within, you know, the spirit, because this thing is going to come suddenly. And if you're in the spirit, you can see it. You can see it coming. You can see it approaching rapidly. Okay. Verse 4: behold, his soul, which is lifted up which is lifted up, is not upright in him. But the just shall live by his faith.
Beautiful. That's an identifying mark with the prophets. I have Saint real quick, just to hit it real quick. You don't have to break what you got. I'm going to read it because the Lord is only speaking to his friends, right? Which are the prophets. He's not speaking to nobody else, right? Contrary to what you may hear. So this is John 15:15. I'll read it. It says, henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what is the Lord doeth, but I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto everybody. No, unto you. Verse 16, you have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you. Right? So the prophets have the spirit of prophecy on them. And the Lord is going to bring his fame to expose who they are, if you don't know who they are. And it says, right, ordained you, that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that fruit should remain, that whatsoever you shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. Give it you, same thing. That's the point on that. So the Lord's only dealing with prophets. I mean, it's never, you just can't get caught up with everything else. Yes, we can watch it and pray, but we got to be in the scriptures with him. We got to follow him wheresoever he goeth, in spirit and in truth. That's all I got on that. Yeah. Watch and pray. Watch and pray.
So verse 4 again, Habakkuk 2:4 says, behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him. And we know that's talking about Esau, Edom, starting with the elites, and their politicians, man, and all their technocrats. No matter what they say in terms of everything is going to be okay. You know, we got this plan, we got these contingency plans. You know, we have all this going on, so no one has to worry. The soul that's in him is not upright, right? So it's a special thing that we have the inside scoop on the spiritual characteristics of this devil and really Esau, Edom, because the rest of the world and the rest of Israel don't have that inside scoop. So when he says, you know, I got the answer for you, or everything is going to be okay, you know, these people are going to believe him. Israel, the majority of Israel is going to believe him, because they're not privy to the fact that the soul that's in him is not upright. You see?
And I just want to add a couple of synonyms to the word upright.
Right.
Would be honest or honorable. So the Most High basically is saying the so-called white man is not honest and he is not honorable.
That's right. That's right. But the just shall live by his faith, right? And that's pretty straightforward, man. Because everything what we're going through now is to build up the faith of the hopeful elect, right? And we're still tied, you know, to this society. I like to say we're still on the tip, right? We still have training wheels. Once, you know, hell breaks loose and this man's coming down with great wrath, as the scriptures say he will, those training wheels are coming off. And we're coming off that tip, man. Every man's work is going to be tried within the fire that this devil's bringing. So it says here, verse 5, yea, also because he transgresses by wine, right, which goes into his way of life, his philosophies, his way of thinking. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, right? and who enlarges his desire as hell, right? The whole earth. We're talking about the ground, the whole earth. This man doesn't want to just see hip the United, or he doesn't just want to see hip North America. He wants the whole world, every single living creature on the planet to be sea hipped, man. Even the animals. It says enlarges his.
Baba Kasha, can I just read that verse in the NLT?
Sure.
I have it right there. Just that verse. It says, this is Habakkuk 2:5. Wealth is treacherous, and the arrogant are never at rest. They open their mouths as wide as a grave and are like death. They are never satisfied. In their greed, they have gathered up many nations and swallowed up many people.
Yeah, that's right. I'll just jump to verse 6 because that was put well. Verse 6, it says, "Shall not all these take up a parable against him?" And you're seeing the nations do that because these devils have fooled the nations in partaking in his debt system for their own countries. Right? And they're taking up a parable, man. They're taunting America. America's looking foolish, it's looking weak. And they're bounded together under the hegemony of Russia and China. And all these nations are coming together to build up their own financial system. But don't let that fool you, because they're still gonna partake in the global system of the sea hip. You see, but they're in their minds, they think that they're going to be the next United States in the new world, or in the new age to come. No one's looking for Yahawashi to crack them clouds and set up his kingdom on earth.
Right.
So it says, "Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases in that which is not his?" And that's what you see happening. All these nations are vexed when it comes to the United States. Japan, I think, is the largest holder of American debt. And they're getting ready to sell all that debt, man. And what happens when that happens? That brings in a sudden crash of the economy of the United States. And Canada. So these nations are fed up. They're done because what the United States can offer is worthless now. It says, "Woe to him that increases that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay." Right? And that Hebrew word is batia, and then those of you at home, look it up for yourself, man. It goes into debt. So
maybe just read the same chapter 15, verse 15.
15, he says, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness."
That's right, man. And that woe is going into destruction.
That's right.
Right? And giving people over to his philosophy. Came out earlier in our live that Esau's a prankster, man. Let's do this to see what will happen. Right now there's a spirit going on. You watch TikTok or Instagram, you see some man doing some dumbass shit that can get them killed, right? It's funny to go on and pull pranks. That's Esau's spirit on them, man.
Yeah.
Let's do this to see if this will happen.
He's a mad scientist.
God, And that's what we're seeing, because like all this debt and whatever, you know what I mean? It's unnecessary debt, man, because like this man has had enough the heart's desire.
Exactly. Yeah. He just can't do right, man. Even though the Lord gave him the whole world, the resources, and look at him. Look what he's done with it. I'm gonna bring this one out. It's from the comment board. Shalom to the brothers on the comment board as well, and the sisters that are listening in silence. Jeremiah 51:8, and let me just read it in NLT. I'll start at 7 actually. So it says Jeremiah 51:7. It says here, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, Yahweh's hand. What does that mean? That means, at one time, the American dream was an attraction to the whole world, a desire for them to come in and start a life and make a career in the United States. Okay, a cup that made the whole earth drunk. Exactly. The nations drank Babylon's wine and it drove them all mad. Yep, literally and figuratively, man. They went crazy, right? And they're actually pissed off. All the philosophies, and especially the financial system. Every single country is holding debt notes for their economy, man.
And the part of that wine, remember that jump shot,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
People bought into that jump shot, and what they noticed is that after the shot, they weren't jumping.
That's right. They're getting heart attacks.
You thought was dribble, and then pass on the ball, and you know the rest of the story.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's true. And it says here, verse 8, but suddenly Babylon too has fallen. Weep for her, give her medicine. Perhaps she can yet be healed, and it won't happen. But this is a narrative that they're pushing. If you look at the media, they're saying there is a balm for the pain. She can be healed, and this is a false narrative, man. And the scriptures say we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, right? But it also said that the Lord will put a strong delusion on them that they shall believe a lie. So these people are already primed and set, man. They're leaders and they're and followers. Verse 9, we would have helped her if we could.
Yep.
But nothing can save her now. How do you come out of a debt? How do you come out of a debt where how do you come out of a global debt or a national debt where you're accumulating $74,000 in debt by the second?
Done.
You can't. You have to start over, and that's what we're talking about, that reset.
So but Isa bringing this new money and all this stuff just to confuse you even more, making you feel that there is a hope in this place.
That's right.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It says we would have helped her if we could, but nothing can save her now. Let her go, abandon her. And you know what? This starts with the elites. The elites are done with this whole. The United States was just a corporation that they used to do what they did to deceive the world, make them drink of the wine. But now they're done. Who do you think is tanking the United States and Canada and the rest of the world, man? These global elites. Because why? They want to so-called build back better. Those buzzwords, right? Great reset. It says, let her go, abandon her, return now to your own land. For her punishment reaches to the heavens. It is so great it cannot be measured. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So we dealt with that concerning the debt. Now we're going to get into how this is going to lead to the MOTB system that they have ramping up.
The early policy decisions and appointments of Trump's Department of Defense. And there's been a lot of connections, I think, still between PayPal mafia and Trump. And you have someone like Elon Musk also sort of posturing publicly anyway as a libertarian and sort of in that right populist camp. So I think this particular network has people who sort of play to both sides of the political machine, which is frankly, if you want to get lots of lucrative government contracts, I mean, that's what you do. Frankly, it's hard to know where we will be, but I think it's pretty clear that there's certain efforts to push people in a particular direction. So I think it's been clear for a long time, and as I'm sure you're aware, there's a push to onboard everyone to a digital ID system. Vaccine passports during COVID were a big part of this. But there's been all sorts of pushes for it. For example, WorldCoin. Sam Altman, scan your eyeball, get a unique digital ID in a wallet you can have tokens in. People in the global south that they're basically being bribed to give up their biometric data for the guy that runs OpenAI with Microsoft and stuff. There's these digital ID like initiatives are consistently tested on vulnerable stateless people, but the goal is to have it rolled out globally and to have it be interfaced with a digital wallet where the money is programmable and surveillable. So a lot of people have been talking about CBDCs.
Most people have no clue that the best way to activate the law of attraction is not by using the three
central bank issued digital currency.
And these, CBDCs and what's it called, Bitcoin and all these are just platforms for the MOTB. How do you get tied and linked to the platform? Is through the CHIP. You see? So basically, this devil is going to roll out. He's going to give us a taste of it for however long, maybe 6 months, 3 months, whatever. And then eventually you're not going to be able to receive those same accesses without getting a CHIP. And that's what he does. He gets you used to, he gets you addicted to something. And then he basically moves the goalpost and say, now you have to do this if you want more of that.
Right. Force your habits.
Yeah.
Bait and switch.
Make a choice. To make a choice. Beautiful.
What'd you say?
Bait and switch.
Yeah.
Bait and switch. Yeah.
But there's also going to be digital currencies just as surveillable and programmable that are issued by the private sector and the Wall Street banks. And that isn't being talked about enough.
Right.
So one of the stable coins I mentioned earlier that people in Argentina are being rapidly onboarded to because their currency is being destroyed. Tether recently onboarded the FBI and Secret Service to its platform. So everyone that uses Tether gets to use their money under the watchful eye of American intelligence, essentially. And those same actors, the FBI and the Secret Service, are part of this public-private partnership housed within the World Economic Forum. It's basically U.S., Israeli, and UK intelligence, plus a lot of big banks and PayPal. Their ambition is to end online anonymity, and with that, also financial anonymity. So we're seeing unprecedented crackdowns on, financial privacy tools, both for cryptocurrency and for regular transactions, and big pushes from all across the internet, really, to have you tie your government-issued ID to what you do online, whether it's your social media account.
And that's the famine of the word, right? Because once they have that in lock, you can't just go on the internet and say what you want. You can't just go on the internet and post what you want. Like that guy in UK, the man posted something on Facebook, and he got the knock on his door about an hour later, and he's getting arrested.
Gone.
See, so that's coming over here, man. And so, everything is going to get to a point where it's going to be surveillance, and we're going to have to be basically living off the grid. We're not going to be tying ourselves to the system, to the society, the image of the beast. And so that's why we always harp that the spirit of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, you have to lock in spiritually, man. You have to lock in spiritually and pray without ceasing, because it's only YAHAWASHI that can put that spirit on you to not partake in this man's system.
Or really anything. And so the goal here is to have, create a completely surveillable system based on biometrics and with money that the government or whoever can directly program and surveil. So programming, it means that you can only use the money for what they say you can use it for, and you can only send it to who they say you can send it to. And the goal is to onboard the whole world onto that. And they consistently test this stuff first in a global south. So on the global south. So like what this article is about is a big effort to essentially wrap up a significant amount of Latin America by focusing at the subnational level, the local level, onto.
Yeah, so, she just goes into the fact of how they start in all these rural areas of the world and then consolidate them, and then they bring it right back to the main hubs of the earth, which is North America, Europe, and all these other places.
I had a precept.
Come
on. You don't have to go there, I'll read it. This is Job chapter 5, verse 12. He disappoints the devices of the crafty.
Beautiful.
So that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And that's going into the NWO, the New World Order.
That's right. That's
because
right.
This is basically the spearhead, right, of their plan is basically a switch of how we do commerce.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's going to Revelation 13, is it 15, 16?
That's right.
Right. Yeah. So he's going to try and cause all, but the Most High set aside a certain amount of men that will not bow, right, or transcribe to that kind of that ideology.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Verse 13, back in Job 5, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
Yeah.
And the counsel of the froward he carried headlong. So that headlong, you being carried headlong by the Heavenly Father, that's not a good thing, right? If the Most High to carry you headlong, right, it means your destruction.
Set up, you're getting set up. You're getting set up, man.
Right. So we're bringing forth the news, and of course, so we're in this flesh, so we're worried because we got little ones. You got your rib or whatever, whatever you care about. But guess what? At the end of it all, we don't care, man. We want the Most High to come and just demolish this place. Well, that righteousness reigns, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
We want a world governed by YAHAWAH, Shemel Shai, and our King David.
In righteousness.
In righteousness.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's done that.
Con. I got this here. This is I'm trying to read off my phone. Psalms 21:11. It says, "For they intended evil against thee. They imagine a mischievous device, which they are not able to perform."
Con.
So basically, I'm backing off of what Kazak's saying. The New World Order. But we know there's a micro device that they intend to put in the elect. They already have. You brothers remember that video where they had that dot system, the red dots, green dots?
Yeah.
Right. So they already have everybody categorized as to who's going to be able to, who's going to be easy to convince and who isn't. Who's going to need the concentration camps and who's just going to we just have to off them. So and he wants to do that with the elect, but the scriptures say that the Lord is not going to allow him to perform this device upon the whole full elect. Yeah, that's it on that.
That's right. Real quick, if I may, I don't want to read it from the NLT. I have it here, right, because it was brought up and it's going into exemption with what was just mentioned. These powerful precepts that come out in regards to the word of the Lord, the time of famine, and we see that process right now, but it's going to escalate when the playing field hits. Okay, when the Lord brings that playing field, there's going to be a distinct separation. I think separation, and you'll be able to, the people will be able to see who the Lord's men are, right? That has received exemption. So I'm going to read it. Amos 8 and 11. I'll read to 13.
Just actually read the last verse here. Salake.
Oh, you have more? Yes, Salake. Take your time, brother.
Verse 12, back in Psalms 21 and 12. It says, "Therefore shalt thou make them turn their back when thou shalt make ready thy arrows." Because remember, that World War III system or that World War III battle is going to happen right after the MOTB, right after the Hour of Temptation. But we can't tell you how long after, maybe a month later, 2 weeks later, whatever, but it's going to happen right after. Okay. And that's when these nations are going to, and then you have YAHAWASHI right after that. Okay. So it says, and it's all going to happen super fast, right after another, man. So it says, "Therefore shalt thou make them turn their back when thou shalt make ready thine arrows upon thy strings against the face of them. Be thou exalted." Right? His name can be exalted, and his son's name under him. Lord, in thine own strength, so will we sing and praise thy power. That's right.
That's right.
So it's a setup.
Exactly.
The Most High is basically, exalting them, right? So because remember, he likened himself unto the Most High.
Yeah.
But the Most High says, when the missiles are coming, your back will be turned, which means you're in a state of running.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why man building bunkers and building, whatever underwater cabins, whatever he's building, right? The Most High have him, this man with his tail between his leg running, man.
Wow, crazy.
Go ahead.
Right. Real quick. So many things came up, but let me just go straight to the point. I'll read it from the NLT because, simply put, Amos 8 and 11 to 13, right? Because it's going into that exemption, right? And the situation, of course, these people who are without that exemption, they do not have the exemption from judgment. So it says here, the time is surely coming, it says the sovereign Lord, YAHAWASHI, when I will send a famine on the land, not a famine of bread or water, but of hearing the words of YAHAWASHI. And we see that in Israel right now on various levels. And, you know, these guys, they change up all the doctrines. Okay. I'm not going to go into their names. Okay. But here's the, when Brother Kazak was just talking about that, but it says this in verse 12.
Even the codes too, right? Even like you said, we've been seeing in many levels. Like, hey, most of us here have been in the truth for 5 years and above. All of us actually for 5 years and more. Like just 5 years ago, you know, we didn't hear this many code words when it came to the scriptures. You know, so now you're hearing, you know, MOTB, all these different code words.
Right.
That's a form of that famine of the word. Eventually, you're not going to hear anything.
Z's.
That's right.
What we could listen, you know, when we're talking about Z's,
right?
Small hatters, you know,
right.
5 years ago, that was the thing. Jake.
Yeah. So, because he just, verse 12, real quick, it was in 12, it says, people will stagger from sea to sea, right? Now, namely, of course, not only you, not just you wicked Jakes, but also you wicked people, but mainly you wicked Jakes. Well, people will stagger from sea to sea and wander from border to border, searching for the word of the Lord, right? But they will not find it. Hey, and that goes out to you false teachers out there that's pushing these doctrines, especially on the internet, man. That's trying to throw the Lord's men off, right? You're staggering too because you're not inspired. You're not the Lord's friend. He never set you up as a friend. But anyway, you got to do your thing. It's all good. Verse 13, and it says, beautiful girls and strong young women will grow faint in that day, thirsting for
young men. Isn't it young men?
Yeah, young men. Yeah. Young one will grow faint in that day, thirsting for YAHAWASHI's word, the Lord's word. Anyway, that's a point on that. Okay.
Beautiful. I got two actually here. Read off my phone. Psalms 33 and 10. The Lord Yahweh bringeth the counsel of the heathens to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. The counsel of the Lord Yahweh standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations. And it's all generations of the seed of the elect, right? Starting from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob all the way down. So the thoughts of his heart is to what? Protect those that cluster, that remnant of grapes, right? Of fruits that he has to himself. Hence, by the way of Ezekiel 9 and 4, the YAHAWAH, that mark of exemption, man. The next one here, Isaiah 8 and 10, it says, take counsel together, and it shall come to naught. Speak the word, and it shall not stand. For YAHAWAH is with us. That's the attitude we got to have, man. You got to pray like that. You got to have the attitude like that, because these, hey, man, the scriptures say that even the elect are going to be scarcely saved. You know, and that also means that right when you think you got, the Most High is going to come out with a miracle for you. You know. And so this devil is going to be equipped to come down with some, it says great wrath for a reason. And that's just words. The illustration of that, we're getting ready to see it. We're getting ready to see it.
Hey, some of your legs are going to wake up in the last minute.
That's right. That's right. And this is going to be my last precept. Revelation 3 and 10, tying into the MOTB. So it's in the red because Yahawashi is speaking. So this is Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, right? Which is basically enduring sufferings in the name of Yahawashi unto the very end, whether that be death or you get beamed up. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
Right.
And that's what we want. That's another way of saying the YAHAWAH. Okay. Which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast. Right? And what is that? That's not just, it's also, yes, it's the truth, but it's also the doctrine, the correct doctrine. There's so many different doctrines that are coming out of the woodworks. You know, a lot of these doctrines are just being remixed, right? I've heard about the Trinity doctrine multiple times. We've all heard about it, but now it's coming back up and being remixed. Then you got new doctrines, and all these different wayward doctrines are basically gonna make the ground of the simple be unstable in that time of Jacob's trouble. You need stability, and the correct doctrine is what we have here at GMS, starting with the apostles and others on down. That's what's going to keep the hopeful elect stable in that time.
That's right.
Isaiah 33:6. It says that no man take thy crown. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, Yahawah. And he shall go no more out. And this is in the kingdom, man. So overcoming what? Overcoming the MOTB, the hour of temptation, ultimately. Because if you overcome the hour of temptation, you're most likely going to be saved. Because, you know, you're going to be saved because you have the hopeful elect. Only the elect are not going to take up the sea hip. It says, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my power and the name of the city of my power, Yahawah, which is New Jerusalem. And you could tie this with, I think it's Revelation 14, right? He saw New Jerusalem coming down from heaven. That's the elect coming down from the chariots after the destruction of the United States and various parts of the world, man. Which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, Yahawah, and I will write upon him my new name. And it's not talking about a completely new name, a fresh name. Basically, the elect are going to have the seal, the thawah, the exemption of from judgment, which is what covered under the blood of YAHAWASHI. Is there more? Yeah, this last verse here, it says, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. And that's it. That's it for me.
Beautiful. I got a quick precept, my last one, in regards to the false teachers, right? Because identifying marks, right? Lamentations that is written by Jeremiah in the Spirit, right? He says, thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity to turn away thy captivity, but they have seen for thee false burdens and causes of banishment. Is that the one I'm looking for? No, Salaki, that's not the one I was looking for. I'm sorry, it's Jeremiah 14:14. All right, Salaki. It says, then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. So this name here is going into his reputation. Starting with his name. They lie about his name, and they lie about his reputation and twist his word. Okay? I mean, straightforward. And the thing about these false teachers, and I'm talking about Israel to be specific, it's not that they don't know the truth. It was taught them. So simply put, what are they prophesying now? So it's just showing that the Lord is removing his spirit from these men, right, in regards to their pattern. Continuing on in the verse, it says, I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision.
Exactly, your garment.
Oh, you can show my shoulder? Yeah.
Yeah, your garment.
It says, I have commanded them neither not to spake unto them, right? They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination and a thing of naught and deceit of their heart. So, hey, none of the false prophets, none of them, absolutely none of these men, or any of, when you go on the internet, if you surf that thing, man, none of those men are inspired to bring this truth that was set up by Yahawah Shai to the apostles and the prophets. It's just really simple. I mean, continue to filter them out in spirit and in truth. But they're not bringing the message. They weren't set up to bring the saving truth. Okay, which is salvation, which is Yahawashi, right? YAHAWAH Shemi. Anyway, that's all I got.
I got a quick question just before you close.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Because we went to different topics, and one of the topics that you touched was the MOTV.
Yeah.
Right? This is the book of Psalms 14. And the reason I'm reading this because there's a lot of groups out there that their mind is corrupt, right?
Yeah.
But keep in mind that the Heavenly Father is always watching and the angels are watching 24/7. So I read Psalms 14:2. The Lord Yahawah looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek Yahawah. You know, we trying to seek the Lord as much as we can because we come into our hard times, Jacob's trouble.
That's right. It
says in verse 3, there are all gone aside, they are altogether become filthy, there is none that do good, and no one.
Come on. That's right.
Right?
Actually, that's beautiful because that ties into, I got one more actually that ties into this. And I'll close off on this. It's 2 Thessalonians 2:9. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. And that goes into this devil's technology, right? He's going to use his technology to basically deceive the world.
Yeah.
But the elect won't be deceived. And obviously, we know this talking about Esau, Edom. But, you know, when you read John 8:44, Yahawashi was talking to Jake. He was talking to Israelites. So you 2/3 too come after the working of Satan. Okay? That's why you're going to be destroyed right alongside with Esau and the rest of these heathens. At least those of them that won't be put into slavery. It says, verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, right? That they might be saved. So they didn't receive the law, right?
Yeah.
They weren't of the elect, simply put. It says, verse 11, and Apostle Tahar made a very serious statement about the elect and how, you know, you could be someone who did believe sincerely and you were sincere, but if you're not of the elect, you're just not going to you're going to be destroyed. It's just how the Most High set it up. Because when you go into what's his name, Judas didn't come into the truth thinking that he was going to do some underhanded shit. You know, he was chosen from the foundation of earth to be the spirit that will betray Yahawashi, and that's how it's set up. That's why from the apostles and the elders on down, we always push the seriousness of what you're getting yourself involved in, the magnitude of what we're in.
That came out the lesson we did today. That was in Luke 14.
Oh, okay, Khan. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's the spirit then.
God.
Yeah. And it says here, verse 11, for this cause, Yahawah shall send shall send them strong delusion that they shall believe a lie.
Yeah.
Right? And the ultimate lie is MOTB. They're gonna believe it and they're gonna take it. Strong delusions, man. Brothers are having dreams of other brothers that they're in the camp with, you know, with sores, with cancer sores on their hands. And we all know what that's from. It says that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. That's
right. Your top athletes, LeBron James, he gonna take it.
Yep.
Kanye West is gonna take it. Jay-Z, Beyonce, you know, and these are all idols of Jake.
That's
so
right.
Jake's gonna be like, okay, they're taking it, I'm gonna take it too. I'm gonna do what my idols do. You know.
Right. Didn't that happen during the CVID too?
Yeah.
Right.
Remember, a lot of guys are pushing it. Can't remember. That's the spirit. Anyway, go ahead. Yep. They rehearsed it. I'm trying to remember the dude's name, man. I think Grandmaster Jay was one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, he was pushing back your thing up and do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Look at Salakia.
No, go ahead.
Look at Allen Iverson. right? He's considered one of the forefathers for the trend of tattoos. You know, he came on the scene in the athlete world, covered himself with tattoos, and Jake went bug out crazy, and covered himself with tattoos.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, whatever Jake's idols do. You know,
that's what they do. Yeah.
They say taking that tattoo is worse than getting joke. So imagine all these guys that will, excuse me, that is not exempt. You know? Wow.
Beautiful, man. So that is the lesson. Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. We're going to close by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahawah, and double honors to the apostles and the elders and the bishops of Great Millstone who rule well, and our honor to the word in truth and sincerity, and peace and mercy to the 144,000, the hopeful elect that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth, and the rest of you that sincerely believe as well. All right, Qam Yasharahla, Shalawan to the hopeful elect.
Shalawan. Yeah.